All right, sounding good as ever. Sandy Brodsky playing his custom bass, the Brodsky bass, that he's going to talk about today. Oh, nice, Sandy. How's it going, bro?
Very good. Thanks for having me here at Authentic Guitars, Rudy. It's a pleasure to be here. And going to tell a little bit about this bass guitar. Rudy had seen this before and wanted me to tell a little bit about it. And this was a project that my wife and I had discussed, and she wanted to know what I wanted for my birthday a couple of 2 years ago. And what we did was we found a body for a bass guitar online and a maple wood neck. This is a mahogany body. And we're going to go about and show the process that I use to create this. So I have some slides here of documentation I made while I was making this bass, and we'd like to share it here at Authentic Guitars. When I first got the bass body, the mahogany body as it was, it needed some shaping done. So I started off by marking the spots, in this case, where I wanted to have the belly cut. Right here is where I made what's known as the belly cut. It actually works in on their torso, and you can actually shape this particular cut to fit your personal shape. And also the next cut you'll see on top is known as the arm cut. Rather than have a straight body of the guitar, you wanted something that's very comfortable where you're resting your arm. And again, this can also be shaped for your personal preference. So it took a while to get it the way I wanted it. Once I had the body of the bass shaped where I wanted it, the next thing was to get the color more enhanced. So the mahogany body was actually a light colored mahogany. So I worked with and experimented with various stains, working them together, mixing stains until I got the actual color that I wanted. And this process took several days. Would stain it, let it dry, sand it, stain it. So a lot of sanding was involved, various grades of sandpaper, all the way up to 1,000, 2,000. I went up to 4,000 grit. Since this was my first project working this way, a lot of the challenges that I came across, I didn't have the answers. So there were various people I would go to, and one of the great resources I had was YouTube. I would look up how to do this, how to shape, how to stain. One of the great things I found out was raising the grain on the wood. I never heard of this before. And what that process entails is once you have your grain and your project sanded, you needed to actually wet it. And the grain would come up like little whiskers, and you had to sand that down, because if you put your stain on, the whiskers would rise and you would get a very uneven finish. Right now, taking it down to 400 grit made this thing like glass. When it came to the electronics, hooking up the pickups, getting everything wired in, that was out of my realm of knowledge. So I went to a good friend of mine. His name is Billy Penn. And Billy Penn is a master amp builder, custom amps. Billy Penn builds guitars, and he's been a great source of knowledge and inspiration. And any questions I have, Billy helped me out. So Billy hooked me up with some great pickups on the bass, and he did all the electronic wiring. One of the challenges on building the bass was mounting of the bridge on the bottom of the bass. Now the bridge is where the strings attach to the body of the bass, and it's very, very critical as to the positioning of this. So what I did was I went to YouTube and I saw other bass builders and how they did it, the measurements, and I went from there. Here's a photo of the bridge once I had installed it. And after the bridge is installed and your strings are in place, the bass needs to have what's known as the intonation set. And for this, Billy Penn was my go-to guy, and he did it right. He made the bass sound good. I did the building, Billy Penn did the setup. Now, prior to attaching the neck to the body, I had to put I took a piece of almost like a 1x2 and attach it to the base body. Now by holding on to this, I was able to apply my stains, and as you see in this photo, I had the final clear coats. It's got 17 coats of polyurethane clear, each one hand rubbed and sanded down, and this is what took place prior to attaching the neck. So the next shot you see here is of the neck being attached to the body of the base. Now, the holes had to be drilled in a precise manner, and you only get one chance to do it right. One of the things that I thought would be pretty cool would to be have a custom neck plate made. And a good friend of mine, Jack Hadenwald, suggested that I have it engraved. So I found a gentleman out in Texas whose business it is to make custom engraved guitar neck plates. And I contacted the gentleman. He wanted to know what we needed to have put into it, and this is what I had. After shaping the headstock to the idea that I had in mind, the next thing I thought would be pretty cool would to have my own logo on the base headstock. I found a guy, again, online, and this gentleman was out in England, and he makes water slide decals, and he'll make them custom any way you want. I try to get somebody locally to do it here in New Jersey, but I couldn't find anybody. So this was sent over and was applied, and we also have the truss rod cover. It's in the picture is this reddish rust color, but now we've changed a lot of things on the base, and now the current one is black. It works more into the to the rest of the theme of the bass guitar. Here's one of the final shots of the bass in its almost finished condition. You'll see the volume controls, the tone controls. They were in chrome. They've since been changed to black control knobs. Also the jack input, chrome jack input, as well as the strap lock in black that keeps your guitar strap on the bass. So here's the bass as it is today with some of the upgrades that have been made. We have DiMarzio pickups. They work really, really nice sound on the bass. We have Ernie Ball bass strings. The bridge is over here, works great, mounted very well, doesn't move, thing stays in tune all the time. I went to the black tuner, the volume controls and tone control. They're now black knobs, and also the strap lock for your bass guitar strap so it doesn't fall off the instrument. I started out with a mahogany body, and these are called the horns of the body. And I took my time and I had a vision of the shape that I wanted these. So working the wood to get it in the shape that I had thought about, that took a lot of time. This is the belly cut, and this fits right into your body. You can shape it the way you want it. Over here is called the arm cut, where you actually put your arm, instead of having a hard-edged portion of the body of the bass. Many basses come in guitars with what's known as an arm cut. One of the other big challenges was working with the actual wood, and this took learning, going to friends who work, people who've done woodworking before. It gave me a lot of tips on this. This is a mahogany body, and one of the things that was critical was bringing up the actual grain, and I was very conscious of working the stain and the sanding so the grain would come up and be visually pleasing. We have 7 different layers of stain, each one rubbed out by hand, 17 coats of clear coat polyurethane. Over here you'll see the belly cut, and this took quite a bit of work getting the actual shape that I wanted to fit my particular rib cage. Over here we have what's known as the arm cut. This way your arm can be very, very comfortable as you're playing the instrument. These are known as the horns of the instrument, and I had a vision of how I wanted these shaped, and it came out pretty good, and I'm very pleased with the product. The neck of the bass consists of a rosewood fretboard, as well as these are mother of pearl inlays. I used a Dremel, and it was quite challenging to get them to line up and everything, but I think visually it made a nice statement. The neck of my base is made of maple wood, and I took the time to shape it. And this is one of the great things about building your own base: shape it to the configuration of your hand and for your comfort level. As we go up top here, these are Grover black iodized tuners. Keeps the base in tune at all times, and I have very, very pleased with them having upgraded to these. Going up to the headstock, this is actually called the nut, and this is where the strings make contact before they go into the portion of the tuners to keep the bass in tune. So they don't actually touch the fretboard until you put your fingers on the strings where they touch the frets. And these are all the frets, chrome frets here. And finally, I finished the bass off with a water slide decal that came from a supplier in England, and he makes these custom for your particular instrument. The guy did a great job for me.